Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today on our stream. I have a lovely panel for you today. I'm joined by Aimee Moore and Daniel Hope, TruthPie practitioners, who are going to discuss which types of massage are the best, if there are any that are champions over the others. So I'm going to invite them on and they can introduce themselves. Hi, guys. Aimee, do you want to go first? Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Sure, of course. My name's Aimee Moore and I am a deep tissue massage therapist, sports massage therapist and reflexologist. Dan?
Hello, I'm Dan. I am a remedial sports massage therapist and I do deep tissue massage, and I've just recently qualified in pregnancy massage as well. So widening the horizons.
Widening variety, yes. So Aimee and Dan both work with us at TruthPie. They are obviously our bodywork therapists, and they specialize specifically in sports, but they also offer relaxing treatments and holistic treatments as well. So I thought they were a good couple of people to speak to about the sort of varying styles of massage that you can get. Guys, let's start off by maybe talking about in what situation you might need to help someone choose the style of massage that they are coming in for. So lots of people, I'm sure, just go onto a website and maybe find themselves a bit overwhelmed by all these different types of massage. Do you ever get people coming in and saying, you know what, I'm here for deep tissue, or I'm here for a relaxing massage, and you realize actually there's a lot more that you need to do for them?
Yeah, absolutely. All the time. I also have a lot of people that will come to me and say, oh, I'm really interested in massage, but then won't know what to book because there's so many different types of massage, obviously, which is fantastic. But then also it can be a bit mind-boggling when you're trying to book. But also it just depends on the person. And I think there's so many different options that sometimes you kind of have to see that person and kind of assess what they need and what's necessary.
Yeah. And sorry, you were going to say something, Dan? Go for it.
No, it's all right. I was just going to say it's the same situation, and sometimes they get in there and they're like, I want to relax and massage, but this is injured and I need this sorted. And I was like, okay, we can do an element of relaxing, but I was like, I'm going to probably have to like infuse them with some like massage and throw everything in there. Because I was like, I'm not going to be able to keep that just totally a relaxing massage. It's going to have to be infused with everything. So it is strange, and it is confusing if you don't know as well.
Yeah, and do you find that I guess people think you can just fix them in one treatment, get everything done in one treatment? What tell us a little bit about why you might need sometimes to have multiple treatments to actually get the benefits that you're after?
A lot of the time, I always used to think like Rome wasn't built in a day, and sometimes you've got problems that like need time to repair, and then you need to go away and let that like settle a bit and then come back and do some more. And sometimes that can take weeks and weeks. And sometimes you can knock one thing out, like you can get one thing better, and then it totally rejigs something else because your body has been in this form for so long that if you fix one thing, something else gets stretched and elongated in another area. And then you're like wondering why that's sore now. And it's just a readjustment of years of problems, or your body's just settled in a certain way.
I definitely remember actually pre-training as a massage therapist and going in for a treatment and coming out and being like, they were rubbish. I'm in more pain than when I went in. And, I'm sure, we've all been there where we've gone, I don't know how good they were. But actually, now I'm trained, I'm like, actually, I should be giving them some credit for maybe moving something along.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like knowing that our bodies are a work in progress and understanding that you're not going to fix it in one day. And also it's always a constant, like you're working towards your posture or your alignment and something, but no one's perfect. So there's always going to be something that you can work on, something that we can find to massage or whatever. But I always think it's like quality over quantity. Like, I think it's better to be a bit more specific on a certain area rather than just trying to do the whole body.
Totally.
And so that's why I always suggest to clients it's better to get a couple of sessions where you can focus on specific areas rather than just kind of breezing through it.
Totally.
And equally, if you're looking for relaxing massage, I suppose it might actually be more beneficial to do a full body massage and not have to spend ages on one particular area because you're trying to do something a bit more holistic for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay. And what do you find people come in and maybe say that they only like it to be really deep tissue massage, they want it to be painful, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Does massage have to be painful to be effective? Is there a place for pain in massage?
I think there's a certain line. Sorry, Aimee, I've just jumped in. I think there's a certain line, like a tolerance of pain. I think it has to be a nice pain and a beneficial pain. I think you get to a point where if someone's just digging their elbow in for just going in too deep, and then the muscle starts to retract and seize up, I just think, what benefit are you getting from that? And I always remember when I was training at college, we did this exercise with corn flour. I don't know if any of you guys did it. And had this bowl of corn flour with a ball.
About your training now. I should probably re-look at your certificate.
There was a ball in the bottom of this bowl, and you had to get to it. But the harder you pushed on this corn flour mix, corn flour and water, I don't know, the harder oh my God, that sounds so good.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So the whole exercise was to work with the corn flour to get down to the ball and pick it up. And the ball was representative of the adhesion of the knot that was in there, and how you don't need to keep hammering at it. Sometimes it just needs relaxing, and it needs you just need to work with it, basically. And that's always stuck with me, because when I got out of college, I did start going a bit too hard, I think. And I when I was training, I didn't injure her, but she came back the next day and she was like, oh, it was a woman who I was working with. She had a really sore shoulder and she was like, it feels worse. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, I've gone too hard. And I knew, and I think that's what it's about when you're training, though, making mistakes and stuff.
Yeah.
And from there, I realized, I was like, oh, my college are correct, and you need to work with you. So that was kind of a mistake that I learned from very quickly.
And sometimes I find, therapists have talked to me about, and I certainly do it, where you have to just hold something just to warm an area. And I think, again, when you're doing a treatment, that sometimes can be a bit of or if you're there having a treatment, you're thinking, well, what is the therapist doing right now? Like, just having a break, having a tea mid-massage. And actually that's helping to really warm that muscle, so it's to a place where it's going to be a little bit more malleable.
Yeah. And just being really specific with where you're working, so not just like hammering away, but if you do find a little area, just really like attacking just that small bit and slowly. I found exactly the same with Dan. At first I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna fix everyone, and it's all about the elbows, and I'm really interested in like events and sports events, or if I'm working with dancers, then backstage. But I love when you get like I get a big rugby guy come and sit on the massage couch, and I'd be like, amazing, like, I can fix this guy. But actually, you forget how much pressure you can use and how much like you can push down, even when you're tiny. And I think then the people would just like freeze up, and then, like Dan said, you might be massaging their calf, and really tight and using a lot of pressure, but then their shoulders are up by their ears, and actually, are they really benefiting from that? Probably not.
It's the whole purpose of it, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think it's about lulling the muscles into a full sense of security. I always say that, because you're just kind of like teasing them and making sure that they're not freaking out.
It's the intention, isn't it? It's looking after the actual intention behind what you're doing, rather than, you know, forgetting and being like, right, I'm going to the pain. It's like, wait a minute, I'm thinking about this person as a whole person, and this muscle as a whole muscle, and tendon, and whatever you're working on, and it's looking after that and going, hey, work with me, not working against you.
It's not always about like release. I know we focus on muscles, but it's not always about just like releasing that muscle. It's about getting circulation back, the lymphatic system, so that it kind of drains and refreshes, rather than just I'm gonna iron out everything. It's more to it.
Totally.
So now, as we sort of are tackling what massage is the best massage, or which massage is the right one for me, essentially, what types of massage would you recommend in certain situations? So, for instance, if someone is they've got a particular injury, they maybe do a lot of sport, they might be a performer. We obviously treat lots of performers at TruthPie. What sort of massage should they be booking?
I think sports massage, or deep tissue at most, but you can, like I say, you can fuse those together. But definitely sport for injuries, 100%, because that's kind of the only way you're going to focus on that certain area. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be doing a full body massage when, you know, like you've hurt your calf. Why are you working on the back? Do you know what I mean? Unless it's kind of triggered through to the back. I just think there's no point in doing a relaxing massage on something like that. But everything has its kind of place, though, isn't it? It's and everyone's got their own preferences of what they need and what they want, and and what they're looking for. Now, what types of massages do you guys like to go for? I'm interested in that. What's your favorite? Do you prefer having something relaxing, or do you have Thai massage or anything like that?
I think it's always quite hard when you're a massage therapist to go and have a massage. Don't you agree? It's just one of those things that I could never book, like a Swedish massage or like a spa type treatment. I would have to go to someone who really knows their stuff about sports massage and deep tissue. Because that's what I'm passionate about. So when you work as a massage therapist, you know what it's like to feel it. So when you're having it done, you're focusing and thinking about, are they doing what you would necessarily do? So I trust like friends and family with like deep tissue and things like that, but I have to have like what we've talked about, specific areas, really like going right in there. I'm like, don't hold back.
I feel bad because I tell them sometimes, I'm like, I need here, 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 and here. Don't touch this. Don't touch this. Go here, and then we'll be good. And I feel like that's the only way I've got like more benefits, because like I took my partner to a spa and I spent £90 on a massage each. So it was like £180 for 2 massages. And James had this lovely, gorgeous, relaxing massage, and he was like out of it. And mine was just awful. And I don't even think it was because I was a massage therapist. She just had my back soaked. It wasn't even just like a little bit of oil. It was like I was swimming. I had been on a slip and slide. And then I asked for more pressure, and she put her leg on the table and was pulling my arms. And I was like, what is going on? And I just think sometimes I just think with maybe a spa, not to what's the word? Not to put them down, but they're trained in a lot of areas. And I would like to go to a therapist who's trained specifically, say, in massage, as opposed to someone who can do everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's quite a good point actually to talk about it. So spa therapies, there are some wonderful therapists out there. Yeah. We've got therapists that work at TruthPie who have worked at spas, and they are really good quality therapists. I think the difference in having the massage for a sort of a beauty, just to have time out and you're not worried about any pain, it's just to have that hour of rest and relaxation, that could be a perfect place for you to be going. There's also therapists that specialize in mindful sort of practices as well, you know, people who are doing certain types of relaxing holistic massage. I do aromatherapy. There's those sort of massage as well. So we specialize, but we're not sports necessarily. I would almost always do a full body massage for everybody, because most of my clients need to relax and calm and have that time out. But it's not always about just pain for them. But I guess the point to point out that you were trying to say was that if someone is trained in beauty, it might be that their qualification is, massage is a very small part of that, whereas someone who has studied massage may have a little bit more specific knowledge.
Yeah, I think I said that all wrong.
I knew what you meant. I just wanted to make it clear.
Oh, 100%. I have the way of saying things and they don't come out how this is going. But yeah, I think there's some phenomenal therapists. That's what I mean. It's just, for me personally, that's...
Like James had a lovely one.
I think as well, like to bounce off what Dan's just said, I think it's so important that you communicate with the person that is massaging you. Because I always worry, because I sometimes get clients who are a bit less talkative and they just want the treatment, which is totally fine. I respect everyone's differences. But I always make sure that I'm asking, is that the right pressure? Do you want a bit more? Do you want a bit less? And working with the client so that they're getting the treatment that they've paid for and that they want. And so I never worry about offending people when I'm like, oh, can you actually just dig in a bit more?
No.
Yeah. Even if you're not trained in massage therapy, I think you can know your own body and you know what you need.
Yeah.
And it's so important that we have that communication with the client.
Yeah, I think that's really true. I think that people do struggle with that. How much do I tell them? How much do I just, what you tell me? Which, I mean, again, fair enough if that's where you want to be and you just want to go with whatever happens. But actually to have feedback as a therapist, I love getting feedback so that I can, for me, I'm normally trying to get someone to relax and switch their mind off. So I try and get as much feedback as possible early on so that then they can pretty much sleep,
Exactly, yeah.
But it's that thing, like, I think people think you're going to be offended if they ask for something different. And I'm like, I'd be more offended if you went away and didn't have a nice experience or was to tell someone that it wasn't very good, because I was like, oh, I could totally accommodate your needs, but it's just I think we're very British, aren't we? We don't want to offend and speak up and stuff, but we don't mind.
Exactly. I always have it with my clients as well, that they always apologize for like hair or if they've been out and they're muddy or sweaty, and I'm like, guys, I especially get it with women, and it always baffles me that women always apologise for their hairy legs. I'm like, girls, I have men that sit down.
I have a 1-year-old, and I honestly, every couple of months, and you're lucky that they have been sorted.
As massage therapists, I'm sure you guys are the same. You don't think of that person, all the hair or different weights or whatever, body sizes. Yeah. It's more about just thinking about the muscles. So when someone is really apologetic, I'm like, oh no, honestly, it's fine. And also when they say, can you put more pressure? I don't take it personally because it's just fact, it's facts, isn't it? You're just doing a job and you're getting on with it and you're working together to fix the body.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. That's nice to let everyone know. Actually, it's a really good point, because I think people do really get concerned about that if they don't have massage regularly. We don't care about your body hair, or if you've been out, if you've got stinky feet, I'll give them a wipe. Don't you worry. Worry because they've gone out in their sandals and they come in and they're like, oh god, my feet, and then they see the soles of them, and we've all been there. Like, we're all human and we're not worried at all.
A lot of anxious about like their acne and stuff, but like on their back and stuff. There's a lot of clients like that, and it's like, it can't be helped. It's not your fault. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
at the end of the day, it's probably going to help. Like, get that circulation going.
Totally.
So, is there? In fact, before I ask this next question, you've just trained in pregnancy massage. Tell us what makes that different to your regular massage. So anyone who's looking to get a pregnancy massage and is a bit like, oh, I don't really know why I'm booking a specific type, let us know what.
Oh, it's so different, like completely different to what I usually do. And that's why I love it. Like, obviously we've gone back down to lockdown, so I haven't had a chance to do many more yet, but hopefully it'll pick up again when we get back. But I just found it so calming. The whole thing was so slow, and it was gentle pressure and pressure in different areas. And you just have to be so careful of certain things. You know, you can't stretch them out too much because obviously they've like got extra relaxin in the muscles and stuff like that. So, but I found it really therapeutic, like really calming for myself. I just went into this like zone. When I do them, I just feel like a little bit more zen. And I kind of felt like we were on a wavelength with the client, and they've always come out being like feeling better than they have before. And it's just so nice to see a totally different side of massage, really. So
I'm really glad you're getting to see that, because that's so like, it's that meditative thing of doing something so slowly and gently, and actually being there with that person. It's like an energetic thing on top of the body work itself. Yeah, really good. If anyone as well is worried ever about you know, if you are pregnant and you're coming in for a massage and you're wondering about safety, people shouldn't really be massaging you if they aren't trained specifically in pregnancy massage. So always seek a therapist who is specifically trained. Whether that's for reflexology or for massage. Reflexology important too, to go to a maternity specialist, because there's points that you wouldn't want to press if you were pregnant. And same with aromatherapy. You know, I use specific oils for any pregnant clients. So just always take care. You know, care is better. I know sometimes that's the time you really want a deep tissue massage, but it's not the time for it. There's lots of reasons why, you know, things that, you know, stress the baby, like Daniel said, you know, you've got more relaxin in hormones going on, which make your muscles more stretchy, flexible, as it were. Lots of people get more injured because of that anyway during their pregnancy, but essentially the best thing is to rest and take care of those things rather than hammer them home.
Do you do reflexology for pregnancy, Jo? What
was that?
You do reflexology for pregnancy?
I do reflexology for pregnancy. Yes.
Oh, that's good to know. So I could send people to you as well.
Yeah, they can come and visit me. Yeah, it's a lovely one, especially for later on in pregnancy, because you aren't necessarily always feeling like having someone jiggling.
And if you've got reflux as well, you don't really want to be lying down if it's like coming back up.
And have that reflexology session. Yeah, it can be a really nice one. But also have pregnancy massage if you are comfortable lying still, and you lie on one side normally for pregnancy massage. You can come for that right up until, can't you, till the day of, really. You just in the first trimester, that's when you don't come in for massage. Aimee, you most recently qualified as a reflexologist.
I did.
What you love about it, and also maybe explain to people what reflexology is a little bit.
Yes, so reflexology is mainly working with the feet and the hands. And I found it so interesting. It's been one of those things that I have always known about, but never really dived in and explored it. Right. So obviously during this lockdown, I thought, that's it. I'm getting on it. I'm going to really focus on, you know, learning something new. Like Dan said, you know, there's always
the first lockdown, wasn't it? This was March.
Yeah. So this is back at the beginning of the year. And yeah, I think you can always learn more, and there's always different courses and different doors that you can open in massage that that just baffle my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
Reflexology also is a bit more spiritual and a bit more like Dan, you're saying with pregnancy. Obviously, it's not the same, but normally with deep tissue or sports, I felt like it was very like go, go, go. Whereas come back and be really zen and focus more on like spiritual and mindful practice was really interesting. But it focuses on specific zones in your feet and your hands that relate to organs in your body and different areas. So you can apply pressure and treat a client that way. And the more I've researched and looked into it, it's crazy how effective that it seems to be. Because there's a lot of research on it, but obviously it's not medication or operation, so it can't cure things in that kind of sense. But if it works for you, then fantastic. And I always say that to clients, it's not a given, it's not a guaranteed fix to any kind of problems. You can treat clients for IBS or heart condition, respiratory, but it's not 100% guaranteed going to completely fix you. But I've had so many amazing benefits that clients have had already from treating people that, for example, there are certain zones where there's tension, or I always say it feels like there's sand in. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah. Like grainy.
Like using sand. And always afterward, like there's been a couple of incidences where I've done that, and then I've talked to the client either during or after and said, oh, you've got tension there. Do you suffer from, because say it's the stomach area, like, oh, do you suffer from anything stomach related or digestion? Like, yeah, I've got IBS, or, it's so crazy that you can find so much out through it. So I love it, and I'm fully enjoying it and just going with it.
Amazing. And the other thing to possibly point out about reflexology is that if you have got an injury, if you are if you don't really love to have massage, or you don't feel comfortable with somebody necessarily massaging your body, you can keep your clothes on for it. You can it means that we can maybe try and help relieve some pain, some discomfort through your feet if you've got an injury elsewhere that can't be touched, that is still quite painful if you're recovering from an operation, that sort of thing. So there's really good times when it's specifically helpful as well, as an alternative for massage treatment.
It's quite good as well, because especially in the winter months, I feel like to keep your clothes on, and I like to wrap clients up, they're getting cozy, make them feel comfortable, and then also you're not covered in oil or cream, so you can kind of get on with your day and you've had a lovely treatment. I think that's quite nice. Or I say just go have a bath with some salts.
Yeah, it's often used in palliative care as well, isn't it, where because people you can be lying in a bed, you can sit, you can relax, and actually it can be really comforting to have that sort of care taken over a treatment when you maybe are uncomfortable in other ways. So it can still give you that time out. What sort of techniques are you guys most interested in learning? Is there any massage technique that you don't know much about that you really would be interested in, or something you do know about that you can't wait to learn?
I'm just about to learn dry cupping very soon. Hopefully December. If the woman comes back to me, if the lady comes back to me, but if not, it's going to be January. And then I really want to do dry needling as well at some point. Really want to do that. But the thing that interests me the most is there's something called, let me see if I can get it right. It's ashiatsu, I think it's called, where you hang on to the, it sounds so crazy, where you hang on to the roof and do it with your feet. I just think it looks so interesting. But there's nowhere in the UK that's doing it at the moment. So I'm going to wait and see if anyone is training in it, and I'd love to do that. Sorry.
I can put in touch with somebody about that. That's an interesting one. But yeah, that sounds like an amazing treatment.
Yeah, just so different as well.
What are the main benefits of that treatment? Do you know?
I don't know. That's the thing. That's what I need to look into more and speak to a trainer about it, because I haven't been able to find much information from the UK.
We'll do another panel at some point and tell you guys about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into it next year and then see, and when I've got the money as well.
Yeah, book lots of treatments with Daniel, and then he'll be able to go for this training, and then he can give you all these amazing foot.
Sponsor Dan.
I think it would be good as a therapist as well. It would save our bodies and hands and be able to find stuff in a different way. I don't know yet, but I just think it's that thing of always learning and finding new techniques. And I just think I've seen a lot of people online do it. I don't know. It might not be good. I might not end up doing it. So we'll just have to watch this space.
What's drawing you guys into learning cupping or deep or dry needling? What are the benefits for clients from having those treatments?
Well, I really would love to do a dry needling course, just because way back in 2010, I had a really big injury, and I couldn't walk and I couldn't dance, and it was all my world went upside down. And dry needling and acupuncture and things like that really helped me. And I think it's always stuck with me that when you get a treatment that you really believe in and that really helps you, you just want to learn about it to be able to give it on, pass that on to other clients. And I remember as well during the treatment when I had it, I had a lot of swelling and things, but other areas were affected. Using the dry needling was so much quicker in the recovery process because it's so precise, and you kind of get that precise little, you can target a certain area really quickly, instead of kind of leaning on and applying lots of pressure that we normally do with deep tissue. With acupuncture or dry needling, you can really get that specific zone and quickly, so it makes the client then they can do other things quicker. I think that was my personal
great.
Yeah. Sorry, Dan. Get a deeper area. Am I breaking up?
A little. You're fine.
Oh, sorry. The Southwest Wi-Fi. I think you can just target areas so much better. I mean, I've just literally yesterday, I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can't see on camera, but I've got bruises on my arms from I had dry cupping yesterday, and it's just great for being able to move the fascia around. I think get blood to the area a lot quicker than you're able to. Sometimes it is hard to manipulate that fascia under the skin with your hands. And I just think it would save a lot of energy and effort being able to do that. And it would be much more beneficial for the client, just being able to stick it on, drag it along, and have that treatment in a quicker, instead of spending 10 minutes on it, you can spend 3 on it and get on with something else. And
you're gaining more, the client is gaining more.
Great. Everything is all about developing your skills really, so that your client can actually receive more and more benefits from that one treatment at a time. Amazing. Another technique that I would just like to let some people know about, because it's something that I do and not loads of people do, or not a lot of people know much about it, is lymphatic drainage massage. It makes me think, because you were talking about sort of the swelling, so lymphatic your lymphatic system is basically a system that helps to remove the toxins. It moves the fluids around your body. It doesn't have a pump of its own. It's just moved by your body movement. So if you are someone who is is injured and has had to have a lot of time sitting down, if you're someone who doesn't actually get up and move around a lot in your day, you can find that your lymphatic system is affected by that. Sometimes you get swelling, sometimes you just feel sluggish a little bit. So lymphatic drainage can be really good for that, in case anybody's interested in doing that. It's also a treatment that is, you know, some people have when they have edema, so specific swelling, and it can really help to move along some of that lymph. So yeah, just another one to throw in there, because I was thinking about the swelling thing that you were talking about. Amazing. So how does somebody go about choosing the right therapist for them? Should they choose one therapist? Should they be going to see multiple therapists? What are the pros and cons of just saying, you know, I'm just sticking with you?
Well, I think sticking with one therapist is good in a sense, because you can really work together and go on a bit of a journey. I know that sounds really cheesy, but
hello, my class.
Go on a journey with me. No, I just feel like you know, you have certain areas that you want to work on and that you want to reach kind of like a goal together. Also, it cuts out a lot of the chat beforehand, a lot of the assessment. So when you assess the client at the beginning, you go through quite a long process, because there's so many things that can affect your body, you know, your occupation, what you do at the gym, or things like that. So if you already know the client, you can obviously start where you left off rather than starting that again.
I do think, yeah, no, I completely agree with everything you said. I think there's no harm as well, on the flip side, in trying new therapists, because sometimes you can get stuck with one and just think that's the only way to do it. And like you say, it might go to you and try lymphatic drainage and realize, oh my God, this works so much better for me, but they just don't realize. And I think sometimes I'm sure me and Aimee are different therapists. I've never had a massage from you, Aimee.
I know, it's that one, babes.
But like, I'm sure we're very different therapists offering similar things, but one might work better for the other. And I just think you can play around. But I do agree, it is so nice as well for the therapist to just understand the body, and you know where you need to work on, or what's been a problem area. And then if there's something triggered up the next week, say, that's new, you're like, it's like a red flag straight away. You're like, why is that happening? And then you can put the pieces together. So it swings and roundabouts, really, isn't it? Like totally pros and cons. I don't think there's a right and wrong answer with that.
Yeah, either. Totally. I think both ways work, and also it depends on what you're going through at the time. So if I have someone that suddenly goes, oh, I've got this, then I can refer them to someone that I know that does that specific thing. You know, as therapists, we just have a lot of pals that, you know, do similar things. So I think it's nice to be able to refer someone, but also what was I going to say? I was on a roll there. I was just going to say, I think even as therapists, it's quite good to get different treatments, because you go, oh, I'd never thought about that technique. Or that. And it's that thing again, like we keep saying, constantly learning, constantly finding new techniques and kind of developing our skills, which I love.
Yeah, you don't ever go to one therapist and get the same treatment as another therapist. And it's because they've had all their different ways of learning. They've got their studies, they've got, you know, they might have watched some YouTube videos for some extra tips when they've got a specific ailment with a client and they're trying to follow up on it. You know, you've got them reading books, they're speaking to their friends who are therapists. We are all on Instagram and Facebook now. We all see each other talking about what we do. So you learn little bits and pieces here and there. And actually, comes to build quite a holistic approach. No matter what your core training is, you've got all these other influences, and you learn, you know, even just the way you speak to clients in the room can develop and change, can't it? So really, I guess having sort of ongoing therapy has got its benefits. You can grow, you can learn along with your therapist. You can ask them questions. They might go away and find something so that they're ready for the next appointment. It's not always that they deal with everything in that one appointment. but also we can work together. I know at TruthPie we often swap clients, as it were, don't we? We've got people that visit lots of us for different things at different times. So what's the benefit of going along to maybe a non-bodywork therapy alongside your massage? What have you found has complemented your clients' therapies before?
Well, I always talk about fitness, especially, I mean, doesn't matter who it is. And I always think that a lot of people are put off sports massage or deep tissue because they don't feel they're fit enough, and they don't see themselves as a sportsman or whatever. But I tend to talk a lot about fitness, a lot, even if it's just to do with stretching the body and kind of making sure that it's still pumping and flowing. Obviously, I love fitness, so it's easy to talk about.
Performers, by the way, in case you haven't picked that up already. I don't know if
exactly. But I will always talk about different exercises, different stretches and things like that. And some, like, it depends on what you've focused on in the treatment as well, just to make sure that that's also echoed. But then also connecting the body work to the mind. So, talking about taking a lot of pressure off. Sometimes I feel like at the end of a session, it's good to just chat to the client, especially at the moment when we're going through so much mentally, just to be like, I hope you're doing all right, and make sure you look after yourself, not just your body, because we're focusing on that, but also look after yourself mentally. Like, drink lots of water tonight and just put your feet up.
Yeah.
Eat some good food. That's that's therapy in itself.
Yeah, absolutely, with the food, all the comfort.
And
I think meditation is such a big part of it, especially when their bodies are so tight and they're saying they're stressed and stuff. And I always recommend meditation. Like I do it a lot myself, and I definitely think I notice mostly when I haven't done it. When I'm doing it, I don't notice it as much because it kind of comes the norm. And it's when I don't do it, that's when I notice everything starts becoming a bit fuzzy and you do get a bit tight. So I'm a big believer of meditation.
Yeah, totally.
Come up so much actually in all these panels. So, the regular sort of habit of meditation just being so beneficial. And it's not about it having to be lie there still for half an hour while you meditate. It can be a 10-minute, it can be a 5-minute, it can be a 2-minute, if that's what you've got time for, as long as you take that time to just be mindful. And you don't have to sit cross-legged while you do it. You just wherever you feel like
there's some great ones for like walking through the park as well, which I found really beneficial for people who don't like it, like walking ones or being in a busy crowd. There's like loads on the podcasts app and stuff like that are free. And if you're in a busy situation where you can't get out of it and you're feeling stressed, you can whack one of those on your headphones and it kind of takes you out of it instantly. And it's just such a, like, especially in London and especially at the moment, it's such a nice relief from everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I think you've done a really good job of letting us know a little bit more about any sort of fears that people might have about choosing the right therapy for them. If anyone has got any extra questions, do feel free to pop any questions in the comments, pop us over an email at TruthPie. I can forward it on to either of these two, or I can try and answer it myself. But if you've got anything ever to ask about whether a treatment is right for you, everyone at TruthPie always offers a free chat conversation to see if it's right first. Nobody would demand that you book an hour appointment without, if you still have questions. So just get in touch with us. And join us for all of our future panels. We've got lots of things coming up. We've got next month, we've got some Christmas cracker events coming up. You do have to sign up to our to receive those. We'll be sending them direct to your inbox, so stay in touch for our Christmas crackers. And we've got some lovely sort of festive events for you. Anybody who is spending Christmas Day on their own or wants a little bit more of a well-being day for Christmas Day, we are going to be replaying loads of our lovely Time for Truth Pie offerings that have been created through lockdown right back from March, so that people can share. And we've also got some fresh, lovely updates from some of the gorgeous practitioners. And I think that's everything I needed to mention today. Yeah, and also check out TruthPie's site, because today I'm doing a bit of self-promo here. My products have finally gone on launch. Nuclear Wellbeing is doing pre-sales for our aromatherapy products. And soon, Aimee is going to be sharing her homemade candles as well. So they will be available to buy on TruthPie. Look at them. So everything on TruthPie is that you purchase from us is always recyclable. We look at sustainability and everything that we ever will be listing on our online shop. It's very, very small for now, and we're going to be gradually building it up to have some wonderful offerings on there. So get your Christmas gifts going, and have a lovely weekend from us. Bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye, guys.